Okay, so in the prior video I showed, I think the walkthrough as well, this walkthrough, and then the thorough vacuuming. I vacuumed that thing 2 or 3 times. It was pretty bad, but these carpets have some serious traffic. This is a result of, having a lot of family members, a dog, tiny apartment, probably not vacuuming, or obviously not vacuuming, wearing shoes, and just really abusing the carpet. I mean, look at that. I don't think I've ever seen a blacker area on a carpet like this. And they pushed the couch up in the way, which was kind of stupid because there's more carpet there. So I had to pull it, vacuum, and then pull it back. It's just easier. Number one, I don't move furniture, so it kind of irritated me that they moved it. But anyway, I put it back in place and I can vacuum behind it. It's easier for me to pull it forward and push it back. And if you push it all the way into the wall, you can get there. So here's the rinse-a-roo. Woohoo, my favorite tool. Filling up hot water, and it's got that latex top. Slips right over any sink, the small bathroom sink, shower, tub, even outside faucets, anything you want to hook it onto. It's just a winner. Definitely have it. I was thinking about putting a regular carpet hose all the way out 50 foot and just put it on and run 50 foot out to the garage, and I can fill up my extractor right there. Pretty simple, but I do have the bucket heaters. So here we go. Kind of pulled it down, so I'll have to get that off. But anyway, I'm going to use the green brush. Keep in mind my green brush is wore in a little bit. You don't want to use a brand new green brush. You want to run it over the concrete, for wet concrete, for a little bit and break it in. Otherwise you'll tear the carpet apart. And I'm using my Scott lithium battery operated pump sprayer. This thing is awesome. You can see it lays an even flow, an even fan. And I'm in no hurry to have it any higher pressure than this. I like to go all the way over the carpet with an even flow, and then come back and redo areas that I think need, the traffic areas, and obviously this whole carpet. And I'm not afraid to get right down on top of these edges. You need to scrub those out. Just make sure you let people know not to slip and fall, and hopefully they don't come walking along the carpet, but if they do, then you want to let them know to be careful. Okay, I'm going to finish this up and I'll catch up with you a little bit further in the video. Yeah, you don't want to walk on this. What do you need?
I just wanted to grab a soda from out there.
Okay, go ahead. Just don't slip and fall. It's very, very slick.
And thank you for moving the couch back.
Yeah, no, I'm going to get under it and slide it in and out is easier for me.
Hey, would you like a soda?
No, thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Just be real careful.
Okay.
Especially if you go to the wood. Okay. I'm going to shampoo this, see what we can do to it. I'll go in a couple different directions. And also like to state that I watched a couple guys that do the auric orbiter, and I noticed when they're using the brush or sometimes when they're using the pad, the machine is wobbling. If your machine's wobbling, you don't have the auric pressed firmly into the pad driver or the brush. And in my videos, sometimes you'll see me, I'll put the brush on, then I'll bend the wand down and put my foot on top of the unit and press down. You want to hear that click all the way in. Otherwise, you have it on there crooked or you don't have it on there tight. The machine's wobbling. You're not getting the full benefit of the orbit action. Remember here, we have, here I have the Green Dragon 6 ounces mixed into a 2-gallon sprayer. I did put 3 ounces of a citrus degreaser to help break down some of the soil. That stuff's called Zep orange citrus. But what this is doing is it's spinning and orbiting and applying the solution to all sides of the carpet. It's also, as I'm scrubbing it, shampooing it, it's breaking down and loosening up all the soil. And the nice thing about the Green Dragon solution, it separates and it has an anti-redeposit chemical in there that once the solution's broke away from the fiber, that anti-redeposit solution keeps it from going back into the soil while you're doing your job. So you don't have to worry on the dwell time or anything. You can come back, and I'm going to go over it with, I have 5 Iron Man 100% cotton bonnets, and I plan on using all 5 of them here today. So stay tuned, and I'll get these things prepped. Okay. We've got it all loosened up, and I'm going to now use my first bonnet. I'll use 2 bonnets just here in the front living room, and I'll go over it again. And on these Ironman bonnets, they'll absorb the soil and the dirt all the way through to the pad driver, so I do not flip them over. I've tried that, they don't work as well. It's best just to keep going. You'll feel the pad start to, it feels like when it's got just too much water and it's not absorbing anymore, you'll feel it kind of slip or move a little differently. That's when you want to change the pad, or you can just do, the first 100 square foot, flip the pad over, or in this case, it's so dirty you can't flip it over. After the first 100 square foot, get another pad. And I will say, on this job, as soon as I got to the door, the customer came to the door, and I didn't even say 2 words, and she said, nope, just all I want's the basic. I charged $129, that's my minimum. Usually do 2 rooms in a hall for that. But this was just a living room and a hallway, but it was very soiled. And obviously she must have experienced other carpet cleaners that are bait and switch. They come out and say, oh God, this thing's so dirty, you're gonna need extra this, extra that. And what she didn't realize is I don't do that. I quote you the price. If I don't think I can clean it, I just walk from the job. I tell them, I'm sorry, these carpets are too, they're beyond cleaning, and these were, and they need a restoration or to be replaced. And I just don't do it. Or what I would have done here is I considered breaking out my steam cleaner. Would have been a lot quicker. Turn up the heat and just suck out all the dirt. But the customer just kind of attacked me and said, hey, I'm only paying the $129. I'm not paying any more. Don't add anything on there. I don't want Scotch Guard. I don't expect them to come out clean. I just want the basic service. Which is kind of ridiculous, right? I hadn't even said 2 words. So now she's shortchanging herself, because I could have came in and just whipped over it and left. Because she said she didn't care if it came out clean or not, right? But I don't do that. I spent 2 hours here. She stayed in the room for the most part, which was great, out of the way. But can you imagine? I've had people call me on the phone and say, I saw your ad, and it wasn't even my ad, and they say for 3 rooms for $280 for full service, blah, blah, blah. It's not even my ad. And so, sure, I'll be out there for 3 rooms for $280. Yep, love my ad. So it's best, God gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth. That means you need to listen twice as much as you talk. That's what my dad always told me. He said, Paul, you had 2 ears and 1 mouth. Listen twice as much as you talk. So anyway, it's kind of offensive too when someone jumps at you and says, I'm here to clean the carpet. You don't care if they come out clean? I mean, it's almost ridiculous. So even though they abused the carpet, they just didn't care. But anyway, past that point, you can see we're getting a lot of soil. I'm going to have to change the pad here soon. So you definitely want to take your time. I have a lot of carpet cleaners that are guys that are and girls that are just starting out. Somebody just recently sent me a picture of their brand new Orbiter XL Pro on my Facebook private message, and they're excited to be starting out, and said some very kind words about the confidence that I'm instilling in them as far as the professionalism and how good the can actually work if you take the time and be patient and change those pads for sure. So here we go. Pull the couch out. I'll get behind it and then I'll just press it back in there. And like I said, I don't typically move furniture. I ask them ahead of time when they book the appointment. I tell them that, can you receive a text message at this phone number? When they say yes, I have a link to my website to the frequently asked questions. If you go on to WashingtonProCarpetCleaning.com, you'll see my webpage. Very simple. You click on the little 3-line hamburger menu and you click on frequently asked questions. And you'll see it'll tell them, please have the lights on, leave a spot open in the driveway, do a light vacuuming for me. Any furniture you want moved, please move. We schedule and price according to cleaning, not moving furniture. We've never had any problems, but some people just like to kind of do their own thing. Look at that. Filthy. And it travels all the way through to the back side. I know you can't see that, but I plan on, yeah, there you go. Plan on spending some quality time here. That's the first pad. We had 4 more to go, so I plan on going through those. And these pads are cleaned with cold water Tide and in cold water, not hot water. Believe it or not, hot water can set stains. That's why even with my steam extraction cleaning, I probably don't ever go above about 180. Clean between 140 and 160, but these pads, the Tide cold water is the only laundry detergent that has all 4 of the enzymes. They're like almanese, lipanese. There's 4 different. Anyway, there's 4. It's the only one. The plant-based detergents, usually they have about 3, but the Tide cold water has all 4 of the enzymes, and that's what makes it work so well in cold water. So I'll put 1 capful of that. I'll throw all my pads in the laundry machine and just run cold water, and then I throw them in the dryer for 30 minutes, and you can see how clean they come out. The first time my wife did them, she cleaned them and used, I don't know what it was, Purell or something, and threw them in hot water, and they just looked dingy and gray, and I thought, oh, this is what I'm going to have to live with the Ironman pads. But no, that cold water Tide and cold water just takes all the dirt out. I wish I could use it on carpeting, but I think it would probably leave a residue on carpeting. You'd want to rinse it, and so I wouldn't mess with that. But anyway, these pads are gonna absorb just over and over. I began to get a little nervous after I started flipping the pads over on this job, as each time, I thoroughly went through this room already once with a pad, and then when I flipped this pad over, it's just as filthy and black and full of soil as the first pad. Now, if you were just one of those carpet cleaners that used the same pad, or you only used 2 pads on this, you would have left this house filthy, or a hell of a lot dirtier than what I'm leaving it, because you'll see these pads. I mean, it surprised me. It almost, I love VLM, but it took me a long time, and I think on the next job that is this filthy, I'm just going to pull a steam cleaner out, put the heat up a little bit, boost the chemicals, lay it on heavy. You can put a higher pH product when you're steam cleaning because you're going to suck it all off. So I could have used, more of the citrus cleaner, probably threw a little ammonia in there, and then went to town just, doing a restoration. And I still would have shampooed it. I would have took the Oric and done the shampoo, the green brush, and probably would have sudsed up a lot because I would have put the solution down a lot heavier. And then I would have rinsed it real thoroughly with the hot water extractor. And then me, I don't just stop there. I'm afraid of wick back. I would have brought my rake in and I would have raked it and then set up 2 air movers, one in the living room at the back door and one at the front door up the hallway, and told the customer that, you know, I was going to go to lunch and I'll be back in an hour, hour and a half and pick up my dryers. That way it dries. You don't have to worry about wick back. But you'll be surprised here. The VLM definitely has its place. You know, I do have a solution now as well. Some of you guys are waiting, or some of you guys and gals are waiting to see the 15-inch adapter, so I can use 15-inch bonnets instead of these 12 and 13-inch, and get a lot more space. I purchased this acrylic, not acrylic, but it was a poly, I don't know what it is, thick plastic, but it was a 1/4 inch thick. It's a pizza like display or something, and I messed around with it and it is just too heavy. It wouldn't spin. I could put a glider or something like a glider underneath it and it would spin fine, but then that defeats the purpose. I want to have the full 15-inch diameter for cleaning space. I don't want to have some stupid glider or a piece of plastic underneath it that remains clean underneath. I mean, I understand the concept, don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to offend those guys that use gliders. They have their place as well, but I do things my own way. And when it comes to VLM, I want to try the work with a 15-inch, and what I did is going to surprise you guys. It's not a pizza pan or aluminum or a plate or cut out the bottom of a bucket or anything like that. It's something entirely different that after the heavy 1/4 inch pizza thing didn't work, I had an idea and I ordered something, and I'll be sharing that with you probably within the next two videos that I do. I had to order some more pads. I decided to order a blue microfiber. Look at that. That's after going over it already once. Filthy. Excuse me, got the hiccups. Look at that. Just as dirty as the first one. So if you just went over it with one pad, you're not cleaning the carpets. Literally. I mean, you're not getting it deep enough. Look at the carpets. They look great. Let's hit it with a third one. And I have, 10 more regular work pads out there, and I have washcloths and all kinds of stuff I can use if I need to bring those in. But anyway, the cotton I think is a little rough on my idea that I'm using for the 15-inch. Simply because these Orics are made, you know, for a 12-inch driver. 13, 14-inch pads probably okay, but I don't want to cause any damage, and I'm not an engineer, and you know, sometimes there are people that say, why are you modifying it? It wasn't made to do that. If you want 15-inch, go buy a 15-inch. I feel you, man. I know what you're talking about. But hey, it's my life. I want to play with it. I want to see what I can do and improve things, and as long as things come out clean, even if it takes me longer, oh well. But the idea that I came up with is pretty cool. It'll be a 15-inch. I ordered a 15-inch blue microfiber with the white and blue stripe. It's got a scrubbing stripe on it to help out. That way I can take that 15-inch pad and just, it'll scrub and absorb. So we'll see how that works, but I'm pretty sure it's going to work with the concept that I'll share with you guys once I reveal it. That way, instead of these big open areas, using 13 inches, I'll have a little bit more coverage, and we'll see what happens. But you could see, what is this, my third time going over this? I mean, literally, when I left there, I thought, man, I could probably have went over this 10 more times and still got more soil. It was making me nervous. And remember, guys, I did nothing but steam cleaning until I got into the Auric VLM. Originally, I got an Auric, the white and blue one. I got at Goodwill for $70, and I thought it would be fantastic for the stairs because the stairs were killing me when I was steam cleaning. So I steam cleaned and then I cleaned stairs with the Auric. And then one day I just used the Auric, and if you look back at my videos, it's been quite a while. I do 90% of my jobs with the Auric. Absolutely love it. So, and I'm getting better and better every time I do a job. I'm learning, and if there's limitations, I need to know. And sometimes these guys will try to leave comments, we just block and delete them. Steam cleaners, and they're like, oh, you guys are spreading dirt around, you're a hack job, stuff like that. It just makes me laugh because, I've been doing this since 1993. I started out nothing but truck mounts. I think it was a Pro Chem Trailblazer and a 1985 Chevy, what is it, G20 or G60? I think it was a G20 is what they call it, G20 van. And that machine kept breaking down, and I had it in the shop, and oh my gosh. And then through the years, I picked up other machines, and I had my son, actually one of them is not really my son, he's my nephew, but I call him my son. My two boys working with me, and they had a van each, and then I grew from there, and I had a business I sold in Las Vegas, Nevada, and then also I had my Washington company going. I still have it going. But I've gone from truck mount all the way down to, I got a couple different really cool portable machines. I had some older machines I used to use. I enjoyed the portable because when it was just me and one of my sons, we traveled together and we just kind of downsized. Very simple to use. And now this is even easier. And, looking back at it, the money, if you're good, and granted I've got a lot of repeat customers, but if you're pretty decent with just marketing and getting out there and waking up, get up early in the morning, do your thing, be a business, and take care of your equipment, reinvest money in equipment, you'll do well. And I've made obscene amount of money when I had a lot of vans running, but after all the expenses were paid, I ended up with a lot less. So all I was doing was creating headaches for myself. I was creating work and jobs for others, which was cool. That's why we downsized to just me and my two boys, and that was fine. Everybody was making a living, but even then, the overhead and repairs and costs and gas, down to what I'm doing now, this is almost ridiculous. I could do, 2 jobs a day and still make $100,000 a year and have almost no expenses and no headaches. It's just me. I don't work usually on the weekends. I clean what I want to clean when I want to clean. And like I said earlier, if I walk in the house and I think it's too dirty, I tell them. I mean, hey, you didn't put that dirt there, so don't feel bad. If it's that filthy, you can say, hey, I'm sorry, this is beyond a normal cleaning. These carpets, have too many miles on them, or whatever you want to say. I recommend you calling somebody that offers a restoration service and see what they can do for you. But and again, that's not your fault. You didn't put the dirt there, and you got to know your limitations. And if you market correctly and you keep your prices up there, don't go cheap, or you'll get this type of customer where you walk in and they say, I'm not paying no more, even though $129 my minimum is pretty decent money. But and that's why I have a friend who has a carpet business who advertises on Craigslist. Dear goodness, you wait till you see what you get when you advertise on Craigslist. Their carpets will be 3 times as filthy as this, and their expectations will be, I want brand new carpet or I'm not paying. So look at that. What is this, pad number 4? Look at the back side of that. Oh my gosh. Look at that, guys. Oh my gosh. You see what I mean? How many more pads will this take? I mean, that's phenomenal. So, be prepared. Carry lots of pads. I got one more pad there. And, even carry some 13 by 13 cotton washcloths. That way, if you run out of pads, you can always put a washcloth on the bottom of your driver and go to town. Keep picking up soil. So, all right, I'm back in the living room again. I'm sorry about that rant. Hopefully I'm giving you guys some helpful information. I don't like to sound like I know it all. I certainly don't. I'm still learning every day. And I have my limitations. But I am one of these people, I think all of us, when we're doing a job, we want the customer to be pleased. We want to do the best we can do. Right? And so, you don't want to stop, trying. Go until you feel like you've done everything you can do. In fact, the All-American Mac, he has a YouTube channel, and he has a Challenger, and he's gonna quit using his hot water extraction. But I was talking to him, and I had asked him, had he done any jobs? I haven't seen any jobs with it recently. What's going on? And so he's making the slow transition, and he says, it's difficult with the current customers because they want steam cleaning. And a lot of people get this preconceived notion, the steam cleaners bang it into people's head, that VLM cleaning is just smearing the dirt around. They don't understand the technology and the chemical and how it works and what you're actually doing. The pad's extracting the soil. But I told him, I went to a house, and this was a couple weeks ago, and I took the Oric in there, and before I took the Oric in there, I walked in and I started telling her how all the wear patterns were probably not going to come out, some of the stains, the Kool-Aid. I was walking through the house with her, and she stopped me and she said, wait a minute, you're not one of those guys with the buffer, are you? And I said, well, what do you mean? And she says, well, those guys they remind me of new boyfriends who will spend the first 30 minutes telling me why I'm not going to enjoy the sex and how it's going to be bad and apologizing before they even start. And it just made me, I laughed. I looked at her and I thought, oh my gosh, kind of scared me. I thought, what's going to happen at this job, right? But anyway, her thing was, and I just immediately went out and I set up my carpet extractor and I steam cleaned it. But I mean, that's what happens. A lot of times the VLM guys will come in and, with a truck mount or with a steam cleaner, sometimes you just do the best you can. And then when you're done, if there's problems, you explain, hey, this is natural wear. It's going to reflect the light differently. They got to dry, blah, blah, blah. We tend to say it after. But VLM, they say it beforehand, this is this is that. And so in her eyes, she was, you're being let down before you even pay for the job or have the work done. And that's one thing you do have to explain ahead of time. And especially with VLM, you want to set the stage so that the customer's expectations are realistic. And if you check my previous video where I show you how I make my own invoices, that can be very helpful. There you go. Look at that pad. Oh my gosh. Oh, we got one more. That was number 4. But anyway, I protect myself in the lower region of the work order where it says, natural wear and all that stuff. It's all covered. I can't guarantee 100%, blah, blah, blah. And, in most of those situations, and like this situation, my goodness, what the expectation should not be a brand new carpet. The carpet is just beyond wear. I mean, it's just filthy. So anyway, I thought that was hilarious though. She thought I was gonna spend the first 30 minutes apologizing and complaining about how she's not gonna be satisfied with the carpet cleaning. And her analogy, even though it's kind of nasty and sick, just kind of made me laugh. And I thought, that's just one more thing. These poor VLM guys, they're probably used to people, coming in and thinking that, oh, if I had had it steam cleaned, it would have looked better. So, anyway, you can see here, we're in the hallway now, and this thing is just digging up dirt. I mean, could I have pre-sprayed it again? Let it dry for a little bit, pre-sprayed it, and then took 5 more pads and gone over it and got more out? Probably. But it was definitely, you look at the amount of soil that I removed. If you take those pads, you drop 1 pad in a 5-gallon bucket of water, the water will be filthy. So 5 of those pads is probably equivalent to 25 gallons of dirty water from just steam cleaning. So there's really not much difference. And I'll wait until I get another real dirty one like this, and I'll do a steam cleaning, and I'll pull the link to this video back up, and you'll see steam cleaning, it'll be faster for sure, but the results won't be much better than what you're getting here. You just have to be more diligent at working the job. So, and then when you're done, you have to be confident. So I'm confident. I used 5 pads. I spent 2 hours on this. That's almost an hour a room. But when the customer comes out and looks at it, if they say anything, which funny on this job, this customer came out and was, just absolutely elated. She was so excited. She thought it looked fantastic. So, and that's the other thing, in my mind, I'm wondering, could I have steam cleaned it? Could I have got it better? What could I have used a higher pH chemical? What we're using is around 8.5. I think is 8 is the Green Dragon. You can get some heavy stuff. I've seen guys use that purple power degreaser, which is probably a 14, from Walmart in the automotive section, and they spray that. Don't ever do it with VLM because you're not going to get it out. It's going to turn black afterwards. But they spray it, scrub it in, and then extract it. And yeah, the carpets, you strip them clean, but you're dulling it, you're breaking down the fiber. If there was a warranty, there's definitely not going to be a warranty after that. And it might look clean for the moment, and then when they fully dry and everything, you just got dingy looking carpet, and the wear patterns will probably flare open more because you're not using the proper chemical. But some of those guys don't care. They just want to hit your carpet one time, take your money, and they don't plan on you calling them back. Where what we do, we're working on building clientele. And this customer's moving out in August, and she wants to call me back in August to redo it. And I think at that time I told her in August, because she thought this was the basic service, I told her, you know, plan on spending about $50 more, and I'll do both methods. I'll do dual method. I'll do this method, and then I'll come over it and steam clean it. So, and that way, that's more of restoration service. Try to get her deposit back. And I did inform her she needs to fix her vacuum. It must be clogged, because she needs to vacuum every day. Every day. Just put it on your to-do list. You know, assign your husband, your kid, you got to vacuum. And the vacuum I used, and I've been using, the Power Speed Eureka, it's $49.99 at Home Depot. It's incredible. So we're going to wrap this job up. Lay this down. Look at this. See what I mean? That's the last and final pad. It's not lightly soiled. It's filthy. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. I'm not afraid of criticism. I mean, look at that. They're just filthy. And that tells me that, you know, usually I'll go, and then if I go back over it with another pad, it's just real mild or lightly gray, which means, you know, I can see that it's clean. And again, I mean, you know, you saw the condition of the carpet on the walkthrough. So, appreciate you talking. I appreciate you talking. I appreciate you listening to me talking all this time. And hopefully somebody gets something out of it. And like I said, you know, hey, I'm still pretty positive that I could have sprayed it and went over it again and got more out. But, you know, I was there for 2 hours, and there's only so much you can do. They're not going to pay me double to do a double clean. But you'll see, looks pretty good. There's the final results. That's the living room and the main part there of the dining room. This one is about as good as it's going to get. The entry. Hallway, not too bad. All right, thanks for watching. Please consider subscribing.